Is your credit score the biggest scam in American history? Everyone is so focused on their credit score, and the crazy fact is, a credit score doesn't actually tell people how much money you make. A credit score damn sure doesn't tell anyone how wealthy you can become. And a credit score definitely doesn't tell anybody how rich you are. And here's the cold hard truth. A credit score is definitely not a path to financial freedom, as many would really love you to believe out there. But the cold hard facts are, a credit score only tells lenders one simple thing: how likely you are to pay that debt back. So in today's episode, I want to cover a major topic that nobody talks about, and that is your credit profile. Because everyone is so focused on their credit score. Oh, my credit score went up, my credit score went down, my credit score's not moving, what do I do? Everyone is so fixated on this credit score that you're not paying attention one bit to your actually credit profile. What's on your credit profile is what truly matters. A credit score is really not that important. I know that sounds crazy, right? Because the sad truth is, you can have a 765, you can have an 800 credit score, and you will still get declined. And people always send me emails and they hit me in the DM saying, Mike, I just can't get approved for an American Express. They keep declining me. Well, why'd they tell you they declined you? What do you mean why'd they tell me? They never told me. Actually, they did. So you're telling me all the times you applied for an American Express, you never looked at the denial letter and said, hey, they're telling me how to fix it. Yeah, that's right. Anytime you get denied for anything, they're gonna give you a reason. Actually, by law, they have to send you a reason and let you know exactly why they declined your credit application. People get their denial letters, they're like, yeah, that's stupid. I don't even care what it says. Doesn't even matter. They don't know what they're talking about. So in today's episode, I really want to cover what a credit profile should actually look like. How many different credit cards? What type of mix of credit? What type of installment loans? What should your credit profile look to really prepare it for any type of lending? Whether you want to buy a home, you want to buy a car, or you just want to get a new credit card, or you just want to be prepared no matter what, but you have no plans on applying for anything anytime soon. You always want to be ready at all times. Don't wait to get ready. Make sure that you're always prepared and ready to fire off if you ever need it. You want to make sure that you watch this to the very end, because every part is going to be vital to your success of building a proper credit profile. So again, this is my favorite new line. Let's take it back to the basics. This is what I've taught thousands of my clients that have been through any of my credit repair programs when I did offer full service credit repair. Of course, now we just offer Dispute Beast and we just offer the attorney program. Those are the only two things. We don't offer traditional bootleg credit repair. But this was the number one thing I told everyone, and I would send them a reminder every single month. Stop applying for credit. For those of you out there that have Credit One's, First Premier, Open Sky credit cards, this is why you have them, because you feel that you need to continue to apply for credit while you're trying to rebuild all this nastiness that you created. No, stop. Pump your brakes. You need to get your mindset ready. You're not in the mindset to understand financial responsibility, so why would you go apply for credit cards? Because this other YouTuber or credit guru said you gotta add all these credit cards to your credit profile. The more credit cards you have, the higher the credit score you're gonna have. You need to carry a balance. You need to carry debt. No, stop. Chill out, sit down, and let's take a look at your credit profile. And let's look at exactly what's on there and how to properly build it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do have any crappy credit cards, you do not want to close them. You're gonna have to come to a crossroads and tell yourself, do I close these credit cards and take the hit and understand that my score is gonna drop, but it's gonna start to rebuild later on? Or do I just ride these things out to infinity and beyond? So for the love of God, stop applying for credit. Like I said, stop looking at those offers at Credit Karma. Stop looking at those pre-approvals that they send you in the mail. Or my favorite, they send you the pre-approvals through email to get all those crappy credit cards, whether they have an annual fee or they don't have an annual fee. Stop trying to convince yourself that you need this crappy credit card. Instead, look at your credit profile, and that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. Now, when you're looking at credit mix. This is the most important part, is to understand to take it back to the basics. So credit mix is something that you need to pay attention to. That means the mix of credit that is on your credit profile. Now remember, even if I say you need to have a good mix, that doesn't mean go apply for a bunch of credit cards or a bunch of accounts. You don't need to do that. Just pay attention, sit down and learn and understand what a true credit mix actually looks like. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying and turn it into, oh, but you just said go apply for credit. No, I didn't say that. Now remember, there are only 5 factors that make up your credit score. Credit mix is one of them. Credit mix literally only makes up 10% of your credit score, but it's still important to have a good mixture on your credit reports, because if you want to go, let's say as an example, purchase a car, but you've never had a car loan, you've never had an installment loan, but you got a bunch of credit cards, and now the lender's like, oh man, like, yeah, you got a great credit score, but you're denied. We can't trust you because you have no experience in that. This is why it's important to look at your credit profile and say, okay, what am I missing? And is it worth it for me to add this to my credit profile? Because if you don't plan on buying a car and getting it financed and you got the cash, then it doesn't make sense to have an installment loan on your credit report. It doesn't matter. You have no intentions of ever getting any type of financing for an auto loan, then who cares? You don't need an installment loan. But for the people that want to get a home, you want to actually get a car finance, then that may make sense for you. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that signed up for Dispute Beast, are working hard to fix their credit using the most advanced DIY credit repair software ever created that anyone can use. If you need to fix your credit, link is gonna be in the description. And I love to use this as a great example when you're trying to purchase an actual car, but you have no installment loans because maybe you just don't have any other car loans. You never financed a car. You may be young and you just got into the credit game. Whatever it may be, if you don't have any installment loans on your credit profile, that's gonna hurt you at the end of the day. And here's the sad truth that people don't understand. Installment loans are tremendous. It doesn't matter the amount. I know that sounds crazy, right? They're not focused on the amount. They're focused on the product that is coming from an actual bank. Now, hear what I just said. I'm not talking about Self-Lender or Credit Strong. Those are trash. Those are garbage because they charge you fees. Do an installment loan with a major credit union. As an example, we'll just use Navy Federal for an example. If you have Navy Federal on your actual credit report as an installment loan, that looks great to any other lender. But when they see Self or Credit Strong, they know exactly what you're doing. Yes, it does still help you, but it doesn't have the same impact when a lender sees it, because you want an installment loan from a major financial institution. Now, I do talk about another credit builder called KOVO, and people are like, well, but you talk about KOVO. KOVO is a credit builder for people that have like absolutely crappy credit, okay? It's an actual entry-level product, and it's great. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, because remember, it's an installment loan. But if you have the option and you have the money, because you have to have the funds to actually put this money into an actual secured loan. A minimum of $250 is needed to put into an actual secured loan. Some of them want $500. So then on top of that money that you put into that loan, you have to continue to pay that every month. Some people can't afford that. That's why I love to use KOVO as an option, because it's just $10 a month and that's it, and you're done for 24 months. As opposed to you have to put this money into a secured loan with your financial institution. But remember, we want that credit union on our credit report because it shows other lenders that you're responsible, and you could do multiple secured loans with your actual credit union. And that's great if you're trying to purchase a home or a car, and that's adding to your mix of your credit profile. Another great example is when tax season comes around, people are always thinking, okay, what can I do with my tax money to like beef up my actual credit report? Add some major installment loans. Do one for $1,000, and then you paid that $1,000 back. That looks great on your credit profile, as opposed to doing a secured credit card, because a secured credit card is going to be more long-term. You see that? With a secured loan, you want to do only a minimum of 24 months. Never do anything less than that. It's just not worth it, because remember, you're going to open it and close that credit profile. That credit product on your credit profile once you're done with the term. The longer the term, even better, because we don't want to continuously add and add and add, because it's going to reduce our average age of credit. Our age of credit makes up a small portion of our credit score. It's only 15%, but it is the #1 way that people get into the 850 club. It's just that simple. You want to be in the 800 club? Age of credit is the way to get you there. So you don't want to continuously add too much. So let's say if you want to do a secured loan, you do 1 to maybe 3 at the exact same time. Or if you want to do it later on, but wait for your credit to age before you add more to your credit profile. Last part's the most important. So on average, you want to have at least 1 to 3 installment loans on your credit profile. And it doesn't have to be a secured loan. I'm just using it as an example. That is a very powerful way to build up a credit profile. And as I said, lenders love to see that. But we're also talking about student loans. We're talking about any type of installment loan that you may have purchased. Maybe you got some type of dental work and they gave an installment plan. That can show up as an installment loan. There's different types of installment loans out there besides an actual auto loan. But in order to get to an auto loan, if that's what your goal is, you want to have that previous experience on your credit profile to show that you can make a monthly sustainable payment every single month. Because remember, your credit profile is going to tell a story that how likely you are to repay. Now I'll answer the big question before you even ask and come into the comments. Well, how many credit cards should I have, Mike? Well, what we have seen statistically is people that have maybe 2, at the most 5 credit cards are the people that are above an 800 credit score. Because what they're doing is they're choosing exactly what credit card to add to their credit profile that makes sense for their lifestyle. Instead of applying for this credit card, that credit card, this credit card, because it seems appealing and you think that it's going to help raise your credit score. No, be very picky and choosy as to what you put on your credit profile. You don't need more than 5 credit cards. Some people don't need but 2, maybe 3 credit cards. That's a good mix. But what's a true good mix of credit cards if you're someone that wants to go above and beyond? That's the big question, right? If I were to do it all over again, I may only have 5, maybe at the maximum 6 credit cards on my credit profile. Make sure that you change your bell notification from mute to notified so you never miss any of our new content that we drop or when I go live, because you just never know when I'm going to pop up and bring you some more valuable information for free. First, you want to have anywhere from 2 to 3 credit cards from any major credit card company / bank. I'm talking about Citibank, Chase Bank, Discover Bank, Capital One, just to name a few. All of those major banks, you want to have 2 to 3 credit cards mixed up with all of those different types of banks. Then you want to have 1 charge card, which is generally going to be your American Express. Like American Express Gold Card is a great everyday card to have in your wallet. Now you want to have at least 1 store credit card. I know you're going to say, oh my God, a store credit card. No, it has to make sense for you. But remember, only 1. I have 2 store credit cards. I have a Victoria's Secret because I have 5 sisters. I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why is because you can use this specific store credit card, as it called Bath and Body Works or something like that, and then the candle store. So what I do during Christmas and holidays, I buy them all of the Bath and Body Works lotions and spray perfumes and candles, and I use that specific credit card for that. And then I have the Express credit card because I want to teach my 2 young men how to dress properly as young men and be presentable, even though I don't dress like that here on this channel, but I do have nice clothes. I know that's shocking. You want to also have 1 store credit card with a Visa logo on it, completely different. So regular store credit cards you can only use at that store specifically, or any store that's included in that circuit of stores for that card. But a store credit card with a Visa logo on it that can be used anywhere. As an example, my wife loves TJ Maxx, so she has the TJ Maxx card where she can use anywhere she wants to. That's a great example of a store credit card with a Visa logo that can be used anywhere. And then the last and final card that you can have on your credit mix for credit cards is going to be 1 medical card. And you're probably like, what do you mean medical card? So as an example, the Care credit card. You can use it for yourself for dental work, for doctor's visits, or even for your pets. And I think you use it for something else. I can't remember what it was. I think you use it for glasses. There's so many different options that you have with the Care credit card nowadays. I think you use it at pharmacies also, so it's really flexible. But again, this is just to add a nice mixture. When people ask me, well, how many credit cards should I have? This is what it should actually look like. Now let's move over to inquiries. I know that sounds crazy because this does play a major role in any type of decision making. You only want to have 2 to at maximum 4 hard inquiries in the most recent 24 months. Anything more than that, then you need to go ahead and get to work and start deleting some hard inquiries. And understand that you do not want to attack any hard inquiries that are attached to any open or closed account, because if you dispute these, it could potentially get that account deleted from your credit report and removed. And they'll say, oh, well, this is fraud because you're saying you didn't actually apply for that. So don't attack those, because it can hurt your relationship with that actual bank or lender. And people always say, but how is that even possible, Mike? 2 to 4 hard inquiries in 24 months? Yes, that's right, because you're not supposed to be applying for so much credit. You see what we did did there? I just gave you a great example and showed you the proof. Normal people are not consistently applying for credit all the time. My wife very rarely ever applies for anything. She's always like, yo, should I apply? She's like all nervous and stuff. I'm like, honey, you have an amazing credit profile. Like, you have nothing to worry about. But she still freaks out and she worries because she says, is it even necessary? I'm like, that's the best question you could ever have. Is it even necessary? No, it's not. And this is why you don't want to apply for a lot of things and then have a bunch of hard inquiries, because it makes you look like you're thirsty to any bank that sees it. It's one of the #1 reasons why people get declined, because they have too many hard inquiries, because you look thirsty to the bank. You see how this comes full circle around to stop applying for credit? Because we don't want ourselves to appear thirsty to any bank. We want to make our credit profile presentable. So you open up maybe 1, maybe 3 credit cards in the beginning and let that all age, let it grow. You have to water it, you have to tend it, you have to make sure you're not carrying any balances, keeping those balances as low as possible all the time, reporting 0 as many times as you can consistently. That's what makes you squeeze out every point from your credit score. When you're not consistently carrying 0 balance, that's why your score teeter-totters so much. You go all the way up to a 725 and then you pay off your credit cards completely to 0, then it drops. You're like, what just happened? Because you're not consistently doing it. The algorithm is picking up what you're doing and adjusting to it. I know that sounds crazy. I've never answered this question before, but I'm telling you right now, this is why some people say, but my credit score dropped like 15 points, because you're not consistently reporting 0 balance. People don't get wealthy from carrying a balance, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a damn what anybody says. So you have to understand what you're doing and why it's causing this major change, because you're not doing anything consistently. But pay attention to what we just did here. Congratulate yourself. You just learned something major, because you just attacked 3 of the 5 categories that make up your credit score. We focused on credit mix, we focused on inquiries, and we focused on credit age. And then the other 2 factors that make up 65% of your credit score, which is payment history and credit utilization, those will fall in line, because you understand that you can never get a late payment. You always want to pay on time, because that's going to make up 35% of your credit score. Never get a late payment, and if you do, work to remove it, delete it, or reverse it, and then keep your utilization always below 9%, but 0 should always be the target goal. And then be patient and let your credit score grow. Just like everything else you do in life, you have to work towards it, put in the work, and watch yourself grow. I love reading the stories when people say, listen, I never thought that it was possible. I finally listened to all your advice and I've watched my credit score grow over 100 points, because you are literally following the basics and the principles of a credit profile. Build your credit profile up properly and you don't ever have to worry about getting denied. So I'm going to leave you with 2 final tips here. If you ever do get declined for any type of credit product, whether it be an auto loan, a credit card, or even a mortgage, pay attention to the denial letter. The purpose of a denial letter is to let you know exactly what is wrong and how you can improve it. So there's a lot of reasons they're going to give you to say, account balance is too high to available credit, too many hard inquiries, too many recent revolving accounts, too many recent accounts. There can be so many different reasons, but if you read that letter and pay attention to it and then fix it and apply it, and then come back and reapply in 6 months or maybe 12 months, however long it takes you to fix the issues, and then get right back on the horse and get right to it. And before you know it, you're going to get approved, and you're going to be shocked, because you're like, man, if I would have just read the denial letter, I would have understood this the entire time. And my last and final tip, if you ever get declined for any type of credit product, or even my favorite, a credit card, there's something called a reconsideration line with credit cards. You can call them and say, hey, can I please be moved to the reconsideration line? You usually want to do this before 5 or 6 p.m. because these people usually go home early. Say, oh, what's the problem? I just recently put in an application. I just like to talk to somebody about it because it seems like there was an issue here. Say, oh, okay. All right. Well, if they tell you, oh, we don't have a reconsideration line. Well, can I talk to a supervisor then? Only to a supervisor, not a direct rep, because a rep can't make these decisions. And talk to them, hey, listen, I'm really a fan of these credit cards, but I'm just kind of shocked that I got declined. And I was wondering if there's something that we can do to make this actually get approved, because, you know, I feel like I'm there. I mean, and I don't understand why I got declined. So I was wondering if you can help me out with this. I would greatly appreciate it. Be the kindest person you've ever been, and you'll be shocked that sometimes you can actually get past it and the reconsideration line will get you approved. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered covered a big one on how to build your credit profile and stop focusing on just your credit score. Understand that that's not the path to success and financial freedom. Let's just keep it real here. Make sure that you watch the next video because it is about your Credit Karma score and how it's a big scam in America also. Now, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.